Hi and welcome to RickSwanRacing. Tonight I am jumping into a couple of quick races. I'm planning to do the Watkins Glen GT3 fixed race, and then with a little bit of luck I'm going to try to dive right into the MOZA fixed series. It's right after this. Doing something a little bit different actually. I just bought the Mustang for iRacing. I kind of held out, bought it yesterday, did a race with it, fell in love with it immediately, and so now I'm going to try to push more with it and see if it's going to be the car that I really like. So I'm going to get on with it and try to get into this session as quickly as possible to get some practice. Yeah, so definitely going at this pretty cold, pretty fast. Haven't run the car here yet before, so this is either going to go really well or it's going to go really badly. But hey, why not? Let's do it.
The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 67 Fahrenheit.
And the astute observer too will notice that I've changed the dash over to be the Mustang, and additionally I brought back, this is actually a center console that I made a while ago before I made my Corvette one, so this one is as close as it could get it to the actual Mustang one before they actually started releasing it from some of the concept photos. But anyways, I need to get my butt out here and get some practice in.
The pit lane speed limit is 40 miles per hour.
If I don't get killed first.
Pit exit looks clear.
Yeah, the Mustang felt really good at Sebring, and the last night I did the open setup race at Sebring for MOZA, and it was a lot of fun. But now I got to get a little bit acclimated. Like, I don't even know what gears I should be in for this track. And I haven't raced at Watkins Glen actually in quite a while, so this is going to be a pretty cold start. Let's not do that. Yeah, I do notice that the compared to, like, say, the Corvette, which is something I've been running a lot lately, the Mustang definitely feels heavier. But it doesn't have, being a front engine car, it doesn't tend to push the same way, which is really nice. That, it just sounds awesome.
The leader's just done a 147.00. Sector 1 is 0.6 off the pace.
So for now, just trying to get a feel for how this car likes this track. before I start really, trying to push it at all.
Sector 2 is 0.9 off the pace.
Tends to stop pretty well at Sebring, but I think that uphill I gotta start my braking a little earlier.
The leader has just done a 144.88.
Yeah, what better way to break this car in for me than in a GT3 fixed race where it's going to be total chaos.
E4, sector 3 is 1.9 off the pace.
Yeah, Watkins Glen is one of the few tracks that I've actually been able to go around fast at in real life. Was able to score myself a Father's Day, a hot lap in a Skip Barber Supra when I was attending an SRO GT3 race.
147.23.
And it was just so much fun. The Supra, the Skip Barber Supra is a really cool car to begin with, but Watkins Glen is just a really neat track. Way wide.
Sector 2 is 2.0 off the pace. The leader has just done a 144.56. Eighth place. You've just done a 148.49.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about the Corvette compared to this is the Corvette, there's something weird about it. I haven't quite figured it out, but it feels to me like the Corvette just winds out so much. It feels like it runs out of power, and I wonder if that's like when iRacing creates the sim, how they determine like gearing combinations and behaviors and stuff like that of the car. It'd be interesting to see how the developers figure that stuff out. Oh, there's my session, so let me pull over and get the hell out of this. And go back to talking Corvettes in a sec here. Hopefully. There we go. Enjoying the session. Yeah, it just is something weird about the Corvette. Excuse me. Feels almost like it's like it runs out of power or something. It's almost like you could add another gear or something. I just find like if you're at a longer track, it just winds itself out so far, and it just feels like it's lacking, and to the point that I was beginning to wonder if maybe my my throttle pedal had gone out of calibration or something like that was screwing it up. But I don't know. I mean, it just for whatever reason, jumping into the Mustang felt really natural to me. I had run the BMW M4 GT3 a bit, and I enjoyed that one too. But I found that the BMW had a tendency, it just felt like, to have the rear end come out on a lot. So I was curious to see if the Mustang exhibited similar behaviors, and it just feels a lot friendlier. So I'm pretty excited about this car. Still loading. Yeah, with a little bit of luck, I'm going to run this event and then quickly jump into the IMSA Sebring event, which is a nighttime race. See if we can get out here for a minute. We got 57 seconds. Try to get my display to update. Oh, it's not going to. I know why. Because I'm actually in pit mode. Stick that off. Still experimenting with this screen. It's a pretty cool little screen that this guy set up for Samhan. I like it. Looks nice.
All clear. Push now.
Got to see the Mustang GT3 when I went to the Rolex this year to film the pilot challenge. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to film the 24-hour race, but I was able to film some of the challenge. And they had, I think it was the GT4 was there, obviously racing. The GT3 was there racing, but they had the GT3 on display, and it was super popular. Really cool looking car. I'm sure it's must sound like monster on the street. Maybe someday I'll get to see one. And time for qualifying. Always, even though it's only about 20 feet of pit road.
Okay, Rick, we've got 2 laps to get the job done, mate.
Last thing you want to do is get a black flag in the 20 feet of pit road while you're going out to qualify. That kind of sucks. Yeah, it's such a cool sounding car. Curious to see if it soaks up the bumps a little better, being like
the track temperature's falling.
A heavier,
67
more muscly car. Yeah, all I remember about Watkins Glen, the time that we went to film, was that it was really hot and dry. This thing seems to have crazy brakes. Tires are not up to temp yet. This car tends to go where it wants to go sometimes if you're not paying attention to it, but it definitely doesn't push like the Corvette. Okay, so first actual qualifying lap. See, those bumps don't seem to bother it at all. It's kind of fun. even for good luck, I'm even wearing my Ford Performance Mustang shirt that I picked up. Actually, I think that was actually at the Rolex this year.
The leader has just done a 146.13. The leader has just done a 145.14. V6, you're currently 3.1 seconds off the leader's pace. Well, that was a 148.20.
Alright, let's see if we can improve on this a little now that things up to temp, and I'm hopefully getting a little more confident.
Sector 1 is 0.44 off the pace.
Pretty sure the bus stop here is going to kill a bunch of people today in this race. People get a little brave.
The guy behind has just done a 148.45. The car in front has just posted a 148.00. P11, you're now 2.5 seconds off the pace.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll take it for now. I mean, I'm still trying to. This is literally only the second race I've done with this car, so still trying to figure it out. All right, let's jump out of this. Watch this for a minute because it sounds so good. Actually, let's see if I can switch it back a couple laps. Sounds like a mean car. Adjust this a little bit so my head's not quite cockeyed. About 35 seconds or so before the race actually starts. Currently I'm sitting at, I'm not sure what position I'm at. I think I was like P12 last I saw, which is probably mid to back pack. Decided to go with one of the liveries.
That's the end of the session, P12.
P12, yeah, that's okay. I don't know how many are in the session, but I have to believe it's a pretty full session. All right. set my tires up. Just to say I don't need tires, just in case for some reason I find myself in the pit, which is distinctly possible.
90 seconds.
Yeah, I mean there's no planned stop on this one, but you know, the potential for contact and damage and all that garbage is definitely a distinct possibility. So again, like with everything, try to keep it clean going into the first corners, and try to avoid the garbage that is usually the first lap. Looks like I'm relatively mid-pack. I see
60
4 or 5
seconds.
rows behind me, so there's easily 10 cars behind me, it looks like. 4 or 5, yeah.
The track temperature is
literally
falling.
mid-pack.
It's now 67 Fahrenheit. 20 minutes. P12.
Let's see if I can have another good outing. Yeah, last night's race was actually pretty good.
Okay, rolling starts. Follow car number 9
For
in the left lane.
going into the car completely green.
Catch up to car number 9. Race car speed is 60 miles per hour.
Squeaky brakes, trying to get some heat into them. Drag them a little bit. Next to a Hoonigan Merc. Looks like a pretty diverse, so where are you going there, dude? Pretty diverse group of cars. I don't see any Corvettes, though. Maybe they'll add maybe next season they'll add a BOP or something that'll level it out, you know. See if maybe the Corvettes need a little bit of something, I don't know. I mean, I think a key to it too is just drive what you like. You know, for me with the sim, I like being able to create immersive features to the cockpit, like the center console.
We need to catch car number 9. You need to close the gap to the guy ahead.
It's more buttons than I actually need, but it looks kind of cool, and I had fun building it. Okay, less talky. I guess I better get up here and line up with these guys, because they're going to go.
Okay, Rick, stay calm. Focus. Floor it.
And we're off.
Car right. Right side's clear. On your right. Still there. Clear right.
Oop,
Car
death
right.
up here.
Hold your line. turn 3.
Woo,
It looks
that
like
was
Drake, so you're right.
that was close.
Car left. There's an incident in, he's still there. Still there.
I think he's gonna try to muscle me out.
He's still there. Clear left.
That's okay. I try not to be too brave on that first lap with cold tires. Because like pushing out. Can't win in the first lap. But you can easily lose your race in the first lap and in the first corner. I'm actually glad I missed that. That could have very easily gone a lot worse.
Okay, Rick, the next car is Monte, car number 18, B license.
So now it's time to get on with this.
The gap to B12 ahead is increasing. It's now 1.5.
Whoop, way up. Wow, I'll get a 1X out of that. Push a lot harder than I hoped
Cut
for.
the track. Keep it nice and tidy.
I wouldn't say I cut the track. I would say I left the track.
th place.
Hopefully I can get my spot back here.
The guy in front is Lana, car number 14.
Big old bumps.
There's an incident in turn 6. We think it might be Richard.
I saw smoke. I don't see a car though.
You're reeling Lana in. The gap is 1.4.
Speaking of Corvettes, there you go. Let's see if I can get up with these guys and play with them. It's a lot more fun when you got somebody to be around. Whoop. Stay out of this. Dude, hold your brake. Oh.
There's an incident in turn 10. Looks like it's Devin. Stay between the lines, please, Rick.
Yeah.
The leader's just done a
That guy at
145,
McLaren did not hold his
136.
brake at all, and it spat him out. I was lucky to get away with it. I'll take a 1X if it meant that I avoided him.
B12.
These guys behind us are starting to catch us too, so I need to get up in these guys. Got a BMW and a Corvette.
The guy in front is Richard, car number 3, B license.
Way too much brake in there, guy.
Minutes left. B13 is gaining on you. The gap is now 0.18. He's quicker than you into the inner loop.
Turned out to be a pretty spicy race here.
That's a new fastest lap for Alvarez, 1:45.00. Lap time was 1:47.59. Alright Rick, stay close, wait for him to make a mistake. Left suck, clear left.
Don't stick your nose in. Yeah, this guy's probably going to get me because I don't really think I'm going to be able to block him easily.
Still there. Still there.
So I can squeeze him out a little bit.
Hold your line. Clear right. On your right. Still there. Hold your line. Right side's clear.
No, that was a good pass. I'll give it to him. Maybe I'll get a little lucky and he'll tango with these guys. Not that I really wanted to give it to him, but...
V13. Okay, Rick, the next car is Molina, car number 5.
I do find that this car feels like it's got a lot of grunt going up the hill, which is nice. A little bit of trail braking. Try to get the rear end to turn in. Or I should say, get a little more nose authority. That Corvette is kind of holding everybody up. At least seems like it. Porsche is going to go for it. Let's see what happens.
That's your best lap in this session. Sector 2 is 0.9 off the pace. Alright Rick, you're reeling Molina.
As these guys mess around, it holds them up a little bit and lets me catch up.
Remaining 10 minutes. Halfway home, fuel's good. The next car is Apple, car number 1.
Need to get by this McLaren or Ferrari.
Okay, Rick. Hold your nerve. Just keep it smooth. No mistakes.
Let's see if I can get him on the uphill before this green Porsche gets me. I have to make a pass here. Force it.
Incident in heel. You think it might be Richard? Right side. Still there. Clear right.
Whoa. I'll take it. Just gotta capitalize on it.
Okay, Rick. The next car is Lana, car number 14.
I think I can get this guy. We'll see.
10th position. Your lap time was 1:47.40.
Briggs.
Crap. You have 6 incident points.
Oh well. That guy was braking so hard. But my bad. I usually am pretty good about not rear-ending people like that, but I don't know what the heck he was doing. He broke so hard. Alright. Well, there's that. Hopefully I didn't take any real damage. See if I can gain back a spot here.
Let's see how wide you can make this thing.
Yeah, that guy hit. He
Entering the inner loop. The next car is
he
Montero,
braked.
car
He
number
broke
70,
so hard.
license.
And I was like, what are you doing, dude? But I don't know. It's my bad for rear-ending him for sure. Yeah, this is the GT3 fix. This is actually only my second outing in the Mustang. My first outing was last night. I did IMSA Sebring open setup, kind of just very last minute, and it was a blast in this car. I had never tried the Mustang. But a little bit of luck, I can catch this Porsche, I think. Yeah, racing incident. I'm usually pretty good about not rear-ending people. I'm usually maybe a little too cautious, but trying to up my game, I guess. The dark side comes out. Yeah, the Mustang's a blast. I've been doing a lot of the Corvette, but
B13.
I love the look of the Corvette. I don't mind the sound of it. It just doesn't feel like it has enough grunt to it. There's something about it. It's like it's lacking
Okay, Rick,
power.
you've got half your fuel left. That's 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes.
But I run the Corvette both in iRacing and in LMU quite a bit, and really looking forward to the GT3s coming to LMU. But the Mustang's a blast. I'm definitely digging this. More than a kidney. Who needs kidneys? Kidneys are overrated. Yeah, so this, I got a video, if you're interested in the setup, I have a video I did earlier this year that talked about building the sim. Basically, the sim it's all wood. The main frame of it's all wood, and then the cage itself is PVC that I did to emulate the BMW M4 GT3. So like where the bends are in it, I heated it up and bent it and did everything to try to make it like the BMW. And it was fully enclosed up until
that lap was at 147.56.
up until I started deciding to stream, and then I had to take the roof off it. I still had the cage, but I had to take the roof off it to add a second monitor, or add a monitor for an external computer to be able to see my stream and such like that. So I'm still brand new to streaming. This is literally only the second week that I've done it.
The gap to V14 behind is now 1.3.
But my goal here was try to make as much immersion as possible. You know, hell of a lot cheaper wrecking this than a real car. I have a Audi TT that I was starting to make as a track car, but I'm kind of shelving that for now. But yeah, no, check out the video. I've got a great video that talks about the whole breakdown of how I made the cage, how I made everything, how I made the netting, the dashes. A little too deep there.
Fastest lap for Alvarez, 144.90.
Basically, the Corvette dash that I had been running was actually 3D printed. I did not design that. I got the design online and I 3D printed it. And the Mustang dash that I'm running right now I designed it. It's made out of cardboard and it's laminated. They call it kind of like poor man's fiberglass. So it's actually wood glue and then a fabric. And I used a black fabric to make it look like carbon fiber. So it's basically, and it's functional, or mostly functional. I don't have all the buttons hooked up just yet, but I can assign anything I want to it. And basically built it based upon photos. The monitors are, I'm trying to remember, they're not 4K, I guess they would be 2K. So 1440 or whatever it is. Sorry, I'm distracted by the blue BMW that's suddenly catching me because I'm slowing down. Here, hold that thought for a sec. But I'm running 27-inch triples, and I'm running an AMD, I guess it would be a 6900 GPU. I'm actually looking to do an upgrade this winter. But running triple 27s at, I guess it would be 2K. And I don't remember if they're Acer monitors
10 minutes of fuel remaining.
or which. I'd have to look, to be honest.
New fastest lap for Alvarez, 144.88.
Frame rate is not as high as I would like, though.
Turn
I'll be
9,
honest.
looks like kibble.
It never is, though, right?
Yellow flag.
Should be, what, one more lap? Now, 27s were about the biggest.
V12, white flag, one more to
27s were about the biggest I could put in this thing with the cage without it interfering. I had run like a 43-inch TV, or maybe it was a little bigger, for a while. You know, you basically build what you can afford, and this thing has evolved quite a bit. I was running triple 1080s up until maybe 5 or 6 months ago, and they were okay. But thanks, Nate. I appreciate it. Always trying to make it as immersive and realistic as I can get away with. A little too wide.
Push, push, push. We can get this position.
Well, I'm not getting any positions. I'm just trying to keep the one I got. But thanks for the optimism, Jim. Yeah.
12. And there's the finish. Good result, mate. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, not. I think I could have done better. Unfortunately, that I just ended up in the butt of that Corvette. But I'm going to hurry up here. Here, bear with me a sec here. I'm going to try to jump out of this so that I can try to get into the IMSA race. See if I can do them back to back. At the moment, I can't even find my mouse. Oh, there it is.
That's the end of the session.
Yeah, I'm running the MOZA. Let me see here. Hold on a sec. IMSA. Did I miss it? IMSA fixed. Maybe it's the other one. Oh, 7:45. Time's it? Bear with me a second here. Maybe I didn't quite sign up fast enough. I don't know if you can sign up for multiple events, but I will definitely do the IMSA one here because that one's just so much fun. Yeah, so yeah, I'm running the R9 V2, the MOZA 9 V2. I actually like it quite a bit. It's for the money. I think it's a great base, you know, for what you can get for the money. I mean, there's definitely plenty of options, but I think MOZA, when it came onto the scene, really provided a whole lot of other affordable opportunities that now the other manufacturers on the market are definitely going to have to try to compete with. Here, I'll turn my screen off from it here. Go to that. Yeah, I like it a lot. Actually, maybe if you're looking at that. So yeah, so I've got the MOZA base. I have the KS wheel. You know, you mentioned the R12. I would definitely like to try the R12. You know, I found that the R9 is enough for me. You know, I enjoy it. I get enough torque out of it to where I get sensitivity back. You know, I've never tried a heavier wheel. I came from a Fanatec CSL before I went to this, but the hang up that I had was, and one of the times I'll show it in the stream, is I actually made a BMW wheel for it, the M4 GT3 wheel. I 3D printed it because I've got like 6 printers and I do that on the side for fun. And so I wanted something that would plug into it, but the problem that I was running into with Fanatec was that you had to have adapters and a bunch of other funky stuff to make it work. And it kind of pissed me. I wouldn't say it pissed me off. It was just unfortunate. It felt like Fanatec didn't have an affordable BMW wheel in GT style. I had the McLaren wheel and I actually liked it a lot. But I was like, you know, I really want the BMW wheel. And if you bought their licensed one, it was what, like $1,400 or something crazy like that. Talking about kidneys again, like Nate, you know, and it's, you know, I just couldn't afford it. So I said, damn it, I'm going to 3D print one. So I 3D printed it, did it myself, used it. It's very comfortable. But what I found is that the CSL DD was cutting out on me. I was losing force feedback. It was acting kind of erratically. And then MOZA came out with the R9 came public for the R9 V2 and the FSR wheel, which I have. And I use the FSR for all of my prototype racing because I like to jump back and forth from GT to the prototype stuff. And I think the wheel was like $600, which was pretty affordable for a wheel that had a built-in display. And then they eventually came out with the KS, which is super, super, super comfortable, and I like it a lot. And then what I ended up doing was making the center console, making the whole cockpit with a pseudo carbon fiber wrap, dash, netting, everything else, and then designing and 3D printing a heads-up display here. The display, it actually uses, believe it or not, that's a Walmart tablet built into this thing with Arduino lighting around for pits and for pit indicator, RPM indicator, everything else, whatever SimHub will do. So it was my own design, so I can basically take this thing, and if I want to switch out from prototype to GT, all I got to do is slide this thing on. It basically mounts directly onto the wheelbase with no bolts. It just goes boop right on, so it's very quick, and I can convert this whole thing over from a prototype setup to a GT setup, removing this frame piece, removing the netting and everything in like 5 minutes, and jump back and forth so that I can have my little taste of reality, I guess. Yeah, I mean, Fanatec, Fanatec's not bad. I mean, they're a good brand. They, unfortunately, I think, and I'm definitely by no means an expert in this, but I think they have had some challenges. I think from everything I've heard and seen that during COVID, they struggled to satisfy the demands of the industry, and there was a lot of competition at that time as everybody jumped into it. And they had a hard time with their supply chain trying to keep up to speed to get parts out. And I guess for lack of better words, their reach overextended their grasp, or whatever the term is, that they just couldn't keep up with it. And what I found is that it was a relatively pricey product, had a pretty good track record in history. Their deliveries started suffering. And to me, there was more affordable options on the market to give options. And my key factor was a display in a wheel was what I wanted, because I wanted to run prototypes. They didn't have one. And then that combined with the BMW issue, the BMW wheel issue, is kind of what pushed me over the edge. And then MOZA came up, and they had all this really affordable stuff, and I said, yep, now's the time to do it. So I ended up selling my CSL DD and turning around and buying the FSR, and it's a great wheel for the money. I love it, and I've been very, very happy with MOZA. And then yeah, and Ed, you mentioned the management issues. Yeah, I think there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I mean, I have, I work in business and have degrees in business and stuff, so I can certainly understand and appreciate how the supply chain and the service issues that they had kind of crept up. And it seemed to me that there was a lot of conflicts within where the shareholders wanted to go with the company and where the founder of the company wanted to go, and it kind of put them between a rock and a hard place that they had to make some decisions. And now, if I understand correctly, Corsair, I think, is buying it out, which hopefully can breathe some new life into the company. And if they're smart, in my opinion, they will try to find a way to become more competitive with the more affordable brands. That being said, MOZA's got some wheels that are coming out now that are pretty slick, but they're starting to get up there in price to the point that I'm, for me personally, I'm like, man, I don't think I'd buy one. What would I like to see? I would like to see an FSR like V2. I mean, I love the KS for all the GT racing. It is, for the money, I think it's great, and it's a super comfortable wheel. I would like to see an FSR V2 come into the market, because one of the things that makes me nuts is, if you'll notice, I never run the RPM display on my wheel because I have that. The lights in the MOZA, the KS, aren't too bad, but the ones on the FSR I'm not a fan of, because it's just like this bar. There's no individual lights in it. There are, but it's behind like a screen little cover that makes it just diffused, and I'm not a fan of that. It just doesn't look as good to me. I would love to see, I guess if I could create a wish list, what I would like to see, other than licensed wheels, like I would love to see a Mustang licensed wheel. I would love to see a Corvette licensed wheel, affordable ones, kind of similar format to this, like the KS, but licensed with them. I would love to see a Porsche one, what I would really like to see is a LMP2, a really good LMP2 wheel. Like the FSR comes pretty close to that, but I think they could make an FSR V2 or something that takes it that much closer to like what you would find in a Dallara. You know, I don't know. I'm trying to think if it's Cosworth that makes it. I want to say it's Cosworth that makes the wheel. But yeah, that would be really cool. I'd be a fan of that. There, where did I see Ed? I think I actually saw something about that, but I think it's actually, it is licensed by them, and I remember them saying it is literally the wheel or very similar. But I haven't seen the price point. If you've seen the price point, by all means, drop it in there. I haven't seen what they're asking for pricing. And that, to go back to that, that's actually a good point. One of the things I like about the MOZA with my BMW wheel is that I bought a generic eBay quick disconnect, and it just goes right onto this wheel. It uses an industry standard receptacle, which is nice. So theoretically, I could put any damn wheel I want on this wheelbase. You would lose some of the functionality of being able to plug it in and getting the lights and having the interface with their thing, but I can put whatever I want in that, and that's pretty cool, and I like that. So for example, with that Mustang wheel coming out, you know, theoretically I could just pop that right onto this thing. It would work. I would just have to run a USB umbilical down. I have a powered block down below that talks to the computer. So that's why I run all these peripherals on a powered block. Yeah, the NRG quick disconnect, and you can buy like a generic version of it. Yeah, super common, and yeah, you can buy a generic version of it on like eBay or similar for a little bit of nothing. And that's actually what I ended up doing. I bought it and then I put it on my BMW wheel, but I had to go into the wheel and I had to gut it because the board, I used a Leo Bodner board, and I forget how many channels. It's like 32 channels. You can find these little joystick controller boards that are like 10 channel boards, and super dirt cheap online. And then anything more complex than that you want it to be plug and play, I bought a Leo Bodner board from England, and it was maybe $50. I'm trying to remember, but it's something like 32 channels, plug and play, super easy to work with. And so when I took the existing design of the BMW wheel and I modified it to have all the buttons controlled, I designed it around the Leo Bodner board, and it worked out pretty good. But I had to gut it. I forget what I put it in. I think I actually put it in my Corvette box. So VPG sub. Yeah, you know, and it'll be interesting to see, like you say, if it's close to 1,000. You know, I think that's probably pretty realistic. I imagine a portion of the pricing, you know, it goes also to the licensing things. You know, the Mustang wheel is super cool looking. You know, I would really love to stick my nose inside of one of them and take some photos of their button box, their center console, and I'll point down here so it shows up on the screen. I would love to be able to go and get some dimensions off from it, because this entire thing was just winged off from photos of the prototype of the GT3 Mustang before it even hit the track, and I just snagged some photos of it and kind of built my own pseudo box around it. But I would love to design one of these in online, design it and actually 3D print it. Would be really, really cool. Yeah, and I wonder if it's if they're using the existing molds, and obviously they're using a composite. I would be interested to see if it's going to be like fiberglass with a carbon fiber over the top of that, or if it's entirely going to be carbon fiber. Because like you look at the Fanatec BMW wheel, and man, that thing's expensive. You know, it's a lot of money. Or even the Bentley wheel. I don't even remember what the Bentley wheel's going. The Fanatec Bentley wheel's probably, you know, again, going back to the kidney analogy, that's a lot of money. I mean, you know, for those that can afford it, man, go for it. That's awesome. I'm envious, but you know, I certainly can't afford that kind of money for it. And I'm sure it's a quality product, but it gets expensive after a while. But then again, nobody ever said that sim racing was affordable. All right, let's check out But yeah, no, I would love to get my hands on one of the Ford wheels. That would be really cool. And like I said, I'm hoping that, right now as the plan stands, I'm going to try to make it back down to Florida, because I live in the Northeast, but I was going to try to make it back down to Florida to film the Rolex, hopefully, but we'll see. I forget how many. Between my wife and I shot photos, and I want to say, I think it was either the Rolex 24 or it was at Indianapolis. We went to film the 6 hour 8 hour SRO Fanatec SRO race there, and we shot something like 30,000 photos. And that doesn't even include the video, and then compiled it all. Again, if you go look at my channel, you'll see there's videos of a lot of the races that we've gone to. I mean, our closest two tracks are Watkins Glen and Lime Rock. And I'm kind of bummed that Lime Rock's no longer really, I think they're going to be not even having the IMSA stuff anymore, which is kind of too bad, because Lime Rock was pretty easy to get to. Yeah, carbon wheel, yeah. That'd be nice. So maybe somehow I can figure out a way to get my hands on one. That would be awesome. Yeah, and I'm not, like, for other manufacturers, I'm not a good, like, I can't have a good opinion, or I can't have a reliable opinion on a lot of the manufacturers, because to be honest, I haven't tried anything other than, excuse me, MOZA, the Fanatec CSL DD system, and then way back, I think I had like a Thrustmaster, one of the gear-driven Ferrari ones or whatever, back when I was playing on the Xbox. And for the record, it was a great wheel for what it cost and what it allowed me to do on the Xbox. I mean, way back, I was racing on a like PlayStation 2 or whatever it was. It was one of my favorite games, and I don't remember the name of it, but it was a GT racing game, and it was so cool. And like the coolest car in the game was the BMW in it, and that thing was awesome. All right, where are we at here? I think I am going to go over here and sign up for this IMSA event. I'm just waiting for the sign up session to hit. I'm actually going to mute this, and I'm going to be right back, because I was hoping to hit that other race, but I'm going to step away for 2 seconds and put my stuff down and go to a hold screen here. So I will be right back, you guys. All right, I am back and disaster averted. Yeah, no, I was hoping to jump into that second session right after the bat, right after that first race, but I guess I was a little too slow in getting out of it, or I don't know if iRacing has a like an overlap to where you have to sign up for the event a certain amount of time before. I don't usually run into that, but I'm also not usually trying to chain events one right after the other. But what I did do is I grabbed the wheel that I was talking about. Let's see if I can show it here. Yeah, so this is actually, the knob fell off because it just did. But like, for example, this is the BMW wheel that I designed. Well, not entirely true. I took someone's existing design and modified it to be able to accept, I got the paddles are missing on it, but modified it to be able to take the Leo Bodner board, so it's a little bit deeper. And then, as you mentioned, I got the NRG style coupler, which, as you pointed out, this one, I think the brand on it they're calling is Kyostar or Kyostar, but I think it's a pretty generic one. But as far as they go, it was pretty cheap. And that was one of the things that was making me a little bit crazy about Fanatec, is no matter what you wanted to do with Fanatec, it got expensive. No matter what you wanted to do, it seemed like it was going to cost you money. And I've heard people say, well, Fanatec, it's a money grab and all that jazz. Yeah, I guess so. But that's what is good for competition, right? Competition is always a good thing to drive growth in an industry. And during COVID, there was just such a massive explosion of new people. I mean, I jumped back into sim racing. I had done a little bit, but really didn't do it anywhere near this until my oldest boy was in college, and he came back from college, and he was big into it with his college buddies. And then I got into it, and then my younger son got into it. Next thing you know, all three of us are doing it on some version, whether it's driving trucks or driving tractors or racing cars. But it's fun all the way around. And if you're doing it online, then you're not doing it on the street, I guess, or maybe supplementing it with on the street. But yeah, no, it's a good wheel. I think it turned out pretty good for the amount of work that I put into it, and put some vinyl on it to give it that carbon fiber feel. But it's all 3D printed with a pseudo fake Alcantara kind of grip on it, but dramatically cheaper than going out and buying the Fanatec one. But I'm going to ditch that wheel here and fix my door on the side of the sim, my functional door and netting. There. All right. Now I'm safe. I can't flip over and die. Everybody's all like, oh my God, you got a cage. Why you got a cage? Well, one, I can hang stuff on it, like lights and displays. Actually, I'll go back to this scene. I've got, there's my stream up there, but, I've got flagging display that comes in super handy in LMU. I've got my Pace Logic or Race Logic display. Both of these were pretty affordable, and they help a lot. I've got multiple other displays and other tabnets like maps and stuff like that. All right, so it looks like the session just opened, so I'm going to jump into practice, but not into the Dallara. Although the Dallara was fun. All right, so now we got to wait a year for that to load. But yeah, no, I recommend. I mean, I'm a big fan of iRacing. I've been on it for a while. I definitely recommend trying out other platforms, trying other out softwares. Some people definitely stick to just one or another, but, give it all a try. Each one has its own unique behavior and flavor. And ACC was fun, but I was a little frustrated because everything in ACC was almost entirely just GT cars, and I really like to run prototypes. And then LeMans Ultimate came out this year, and I've been having absolute blast. On the center display? Yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate it. It was fun to create. My goal on the display was to have one that I could take literally just a tablet. So this is like a 5-inch, 5.7 inch, something like that. Walmart brand tablets. They're ONN tablet, and it's built right into that thing. And then I just have a chain of LEDs that is hooked to SimHub that allows me to present whatever telemetry I want. And then when I'm running a prototype, I just have a simple bar that goes across. But the nice thing about it is you can use it for flagging. You can use it for cautions. You know, if somebody's next to you, it can give you an indicator. I have it set up to show me if somebody's hanging out next to me. I've got low fuel indicator, I've got RPMs. And that's the cool thing about SimHub. You can do whatever you want with it. But I wanted to keep it simple, and I didn't want to have to go into huge amounts of dealing with other little screens and stuff like that. So I just went and grabbed a Walmart tablet, sized it out. Maybe it's a little bit bigger than some of the other displays that other people use, but I like the size of it. And I find as I'm getting older, it starts getting harder to read stuff. Like even when I'm running the FSR, I can't even read what's on the FSR half the time. I just toss a little MOZA sticker on there so everybody recognizes I'm driving MOZA stuff. Getting there, 90% loaded. Yeah, and let me know too if you find that this camera angle with the GoPro that I have mounted. So I had been running 2 GoPros. I used to run a GoPro on the dash for a vision of me, and then I would run a GoPro on the head when I did the videos that were processed post-race. You know, I'd compile it all and throw it up now, but as I'm breaking into streaming, I wanted to try to find a way to use a GoPro on my head to give people kind of a sense of the motion that you have when you're inside the cockpit. But here, I'm going to jump into a session a little bit and run around and try to get warmed up here. All right. Yeah, iRacing takes a little bit of
speed limit is
getting used to.
45 miles per hour.
I guess my recommendation for people starting out racing, no matter what it is just have fun. Just go, have a good time. Don't worry
Track's clear.
about being fast. Push. Just go and enjoy whatever it is that you do. Just enjoy it. You know, some people like to just drive around on realistic streets, and some people like to race. Let this guy go by. Cold tires.
Okay, Rick, there's a faster car approaching.
Yeah, and let me know too if you can hear the engine noise good enough, because I always wonder if it's loud enough for people watching. Thanks. Awesome. Thank you, Nate, for letting me know. Usually I run it on my headphones louder, but I'm old and I have a hard time concentrating. It's kind of like the old guy syndrome. It's like, you know, everybody stop talking. I can't tell where I'm going when I'm driving. I need to concentrate.
Okay, Rick, there's a car exiting the pits. Heads up.
I got some really cool video a year ago, maybe or so, filming at Sebring the SRO, the Fanatec SRO stuff, and like the Mercedes, the Mercs, and these other cars were coming into turn one, and in slow motion they were just going over the humps, just floating, and sparks were just coming off from the bottom of the car as it was bottoming out on the downside. It was so cool looking. And then going into the last turn of Sunset, as they came onto the front straight, like the inside wheel, front wheel was coming off the ground. I don't know, I really like Sebring. It's such a cool track. It's such a violent track. You get it wrong and it eats you alive.
Sector 2 is 1.8 seconds off the pace.
Slow. Still trying to kind of feel out with this car what the gearing, like gear selection is on some of these corners, because every car is so different.
B13. Sector 3 is 1.6.
You know, there's some where you feel like you can maybe stay up a gear and push through it. And then you think about the Mercedes, or not the Mercedes, but the Mustang just seems to have so much torque. Big, grunty V8.
Sector 1 is 1.5 seconds off the pace. Car right, clear right.
Well, thank you, Nate. I appreciate that. I don't think I'm as good as I need to be. I don't feel fast, but I like to think that I'm consistent. At least that's what my spotter, Jim, always tells me. Well, Nate, I think it was, you said you're kind of new at this, at sim racing.
204.30. The guy ahead's last lap time is a 203.90.
Yeah, well, you know, everybody starts somewheres, you know, and it takes time. It takes, you know, you get growth and just keep trying at it. And like I said before, just whatever you do, just make sure you're having fun doing it, you know, and if you ever find that you're not having fun, or if you had like a bad race or something didn't go kind of the way you wanted it to go, then take a break, step away. I mean, I know there's been times for me that I've been really frustrated that I'm like, you know, I got to take a break. Just not in the right headspace. But I think that's true of most everything in life. You got to know when to step away and take a break and not let it get to you.
Car right. Right side's clear.
You're going to run into, especially in iRacing or any sim, you're going to run into things that frustrate you. You're going to have a crappy race, or you're going to have somebody that put you into a wall or whatever. It just happens. Again, it's just like life, and you roll with it, take a deep breath, step away, come back at it, fight again another day.
62 is 2.4 seconds off the
Alright,
pace.
we're just going to go over here and take the scenic route.
Right side, clear right.
Going to stick to the outside.
On your right, clear right.
Yeah, I mean, iRacing is a simulator. You can go and jump on other platforms where they are simcade games. Games that are games. They are designed to be games, and so
The guy behind has just done it.
they might be a little easier. They might be a little more forgiving. You can turn the difficulty down. The cool thing about iRacing when you're doing it live like this, these are all real people you're competing against. Some people are really good. Some people are just starting out.
9 seconds off the pace.
Take the time to grow. Pick a car that's fun to drive, that is manageable, and evolve from there. And then as you get better with it, try more interesting cars. I think some people are a little too eager in a way to jump into something over their heads a little bit. They jump in a little too early. And I'm not, and by any means, saying that that's what you did, but I've seen people in races where you kind of go, why are you driving that? You probably shouldn't be in a prototype. I mean, I know I'm definitely not as fast as I would like to be, but, for me, that guy's off-roading. He took the short road back to the garage. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm not as fast as a lot of other people, and that's okay. My goal is to try to grow and improve over time, and I'm hoping that for me, my consistency will eventually develop into speed.
P17. Sector 3 is 1.9 seconds off the pace. There's a faster class car approaching.
Yeah, I personally, absolutely love multi-class. I find it so much more challenging. Where you going, dude? Trying to give you a little room.
Car left.
Kiss my bumper.
Still clear left. Car right. Right side's clear. Sector 2 is 1.4 seconds off the pace. Okay, Rick, there's a faster class car approaching. Sector 3 is 1.3 seconds. On your right. Clear right.
Trying to give these guys... That guy's going in the dirt. One of the cool sounds at Daytona
Left side.
2 years ago at the Rolex was the Porsche, I think it was 2 years ago, the Porsche prototype cars, the GTPs, diving into turn 1 to make that, you know, coming off the oval onto the infield. They had just this really cool sound to them. And then the Cadillacs are just crazy. They sound so good.
Car behind's a faster class. Car right, clear right. Car leaving the pit lane. Sector 3 is 1.3 seconds off the pace.
Glad that guy dropped in behind me.
Alright, Rick, there's a faster class car approaching.
Like an LMP2.
Car left. Clear left. Sector 1 is 1.9 off the pace.
Yeah, right now I'm just trying to get some laps in. Trying to kind of get the feel of this car for an open setup.
That's half fuel. You've used half your fuel.
It's a bad place to park your prototype. I'm going to pit in a moment and make absolutely sure I'm actually set up for a race, because I did that 1 week where I set up for a practice session thinking that I was waiting on a race and ended up waiting the entire time, only to find out that I was in a practice session.
Sector 3 is 1.4 off the pace.
It's kind of a downer.
Car right. You're still the right side's clear. You're a second off the pace in Sector 1.
Maybe I'll chase this guy for a while. I like following people just to see their lines, see what they do, when they brake. I can stand third, which I can. I think I will pit for a moment and make sure that I'm all set.
Watch your speed. $300 feet. 100 feet.
Alright, let's back out of this for a sec.
Front left, 94%. Rear left, 97.
Okay, yep, race session. I see it. I said practice 2 hours, but it's a race session. Making sure, because that was pretty dumb of me to do it that one time. I couldn't believe I did that. I felt like such an idiot. I'm like, yeah, let's go race. Oh, this isn't a race session. I'm a moron. There we go. Let's see what we got for time. Looks like about 5 or 6 minutes before the event starts. About 100 people, so that'll be fun. Alright, go back out here. Actually, I will do... Let's try a qualifying setup. Have you done that many times? In iRacing? Yeah, I'm usually a little paranoid about that, but again, now trying to manage the stream, it's just more stuff to try to work with, and I'm still new to streaming, so I'm still trying to figure out if I've got everything working right, and then everybody can hear me, everybody can see me, and then, oh god, I gotta get in my race, and oh shit, you know, it's like one thing after another, trying to manage it all, so seems to be working though. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, let's get back out there. Go out with a qualifying setup, so I've got about 4 laps of fuel, so that'll work. I love the sound of this thing, it sounds so good.
Exit is clear. Don't cross the line.
One important lesson about spectating at Sebring. I highly recommend, if you go to Sebring, which is an absolutely awesome track to attend, if you go to Sebring, watch out for the fire ants. Because they'll bite your ankles and it sucks. So now I should be out on fresh tires, so it's going to be a little slick. To answer your question, Nate, I don't. I'm kind of lame that way. For me, I tend to use, I mean, obviously the fixed setups are the fixed setups. In the open events, I use Craig's setups. And they do pretty well by me. I'm sure there's probably a little bit more speed to be cleaned if I tuned it. I just don't spend much time tuning it. I should. But I feel as though the lack of speed is me. and that's just me. I don't think it's as much in the car as more of just my driving style. So I'm definitely not going to blame the setup or blame the car. I will say though that having paid setups is it's definitely better than the iRacing setup, the stock iRacing setups. But you know, if all you got is the stock iRacing setups, then you make do with what you got. But I really like the fixed setup races because to me it feels like it levels the field out, and then doesn't mean that people have to rely on having a paid setup or not having a paid setup or spending time tweaking. It is what it is. It's like an IROC race, right, where everybody gets generally about the same car and it kind of levels it out. I like that. Now, on the flip side, over on LMU and LeMans Ultimate, they have started including, I think it's Dave's, I'm trying to remember the name of the company off the top of my head, Coach Dave's setups in some of the races, at least for now, some of the series for now, which is really nice. But I can tell that some of the guys that are fast, I'm pretty sure they're spending a fair bit of time tweaking the cars. Yeah, I have no illusions of being an esports champion, but I just like to have fun. And it's a hell of a lot cheaper to crash a bunch of pixels than it is to wrap a real car around something.
Sector 2 is 1.9 off the pace.
I did, though, have a pretty cool opportunity. I went on a cruise with my wife, maybe about a month ago or so, and it was, I think it was MSC, and it turns out it was one of the ships that had the F1 simulator on it, so it had a full-size F1 tub, and then giant triple screens, and it was running Assetto Corsa. And there's the race here. Let me pull over and then I'll continue my story here. But it had, it was running Assetto Corsa.
Left front, 99%. Left rear, 99.
And, you know, a lot of it got to run Imola, got to run Monza, I did Spa, and then, what was the other one? It was like $12 a race, so it kind of got expensive, but was able to do three runs at it, and it was a lot of fun. It was a motion sim. It was a simple motion sim. It had not a lot to it, but had the haptic feedback. Like I have a base shaker in this one, which is great, and it definitely helps. I think it definitely adds to the feel of the car and the feedback of what the car is trying to tell you. But the simulator on the ship was fun. It was just fun to try. Definitely being an F1 car was lower perspective on the track, and that was a little weird for me because I never run like F1 cars, so it was really weird not being able to see the corner entries as I was used to. Yeah, Ed, I only ever had one crash on a motorcycle. I've had a few bikes. My last bike was an R6, and it was the first actual brand new bike I ever bought, and it was right after the R6s came out. And that thing was beautiful, but it was scary. The rake angle was so steep, and it just felt like so twitchy. It was a race bike. And I had one incident where I hit gravel and went down on gravel, broke my collarbone. And when I did my basic riding and then advanced riding lessons. And, you know, one of my instructors, who was actually also a friend of mine, said, you know, it's not a question of if you're going to go down, it's when. You are going to go down on a motorcycle. It's just a question of when. So all you can do is try to stack the deck to be as smart as possible about how you ride. And I use some of that philosophy too when I drive cars, especially in racing too, where you're like, the bike or the car is going to go where your eyes go. And if you start fixating on a place where you think you're going to crash, inevitably that's where you're going to end
Check
up.
the flag, 17th place.
If you're looking for an out, that's where you're going to go. If you're looking for that gap in the hedge, that's, you have a chance of making that corner if you keep your head in it. But if you start, for lack of better words, panicking, that's where you're going to end up. And it's true in sim racing. It's true in real stuff. I used to race rallycross years ago. Race Subarus, was sponsored by the dealership here where I live for a couple of years, and raced SCCA rallycross, and that was a blast. With those things, you spent your entire time looking out the side window, and it was a great way to learn car skills. Learn car skills in a safe environment, and in slippery, less than ideal surfaces like gravel and ice and stuff like that. Wanted to get into rally, but rally is just, it's fun, but it's expensive and it's just dangerous. I mean, trees will ruin your day in a big way. But yeah, so it is about time to qualify. So I got my quali set up. But yeah, rally, I mean, I live up in the Northeast, so I literally go out to the end of my road, and if I turn left, it's paved. If I turn right, it's gravel, and it's gravel for a ways. And you can get in a lot of trouble if you're not careful. All right, let's go qualify.
We've got 2 laps to set a decent time.
Yep, so first lap's going to be a little bit slower, trying to get the tires up, pressure and up to temp. Thanks, Nate. I can't shout that too loud because my son's name is Nate. He'll probably think I'm yelling to him from the other end of the house. Those cold brakes make a lot of noise. That was one of the cool things filming the Rolex a couple years ago, is cars were diving off the oval down into turn 1, and the rotors were just lit right up like lights. It was so cool. They get mighty hot. Yeah, but Ed, I ended up selling my bike when I got heavier, I should say, into the rally stuff. Before I started doing track stuff, I had the R6 and it was great, but I really wasn't riding it. And up in the Northeast here, you have real limited amount of time to ride, and with the winters, a quarter of the year, third of the year, almost half the year at times is too cold to ride. But we have some great roads up here for our bikes. Yeah, kids will do that. Oh, New Mexico? Yeah. I'm sure you got some really good roads. Yeah, I live in Vermont, so it's pretty twisty. We get some real fun roads to ride. trying to make it to. I just saw the thing about the this sim racing conference that theoretically is going to be at COTA in March. I guess it's a new one that's a spin-off of the ADAC one that they do in Germany, and I'm trying to find a way to make it to COTA. We were going to try to make it to COTA to film this year, but it just it couldn't happen. We had some family stuff going on, and we just couldn't make it. This year was not a busy year for filming. And again, it's just it's not a job. It's we do it for fun.
201.60.
Yeah, where I live, it's rural. I mean, we get coyotes and turkeys and bear and moose and, you know, and deer. You got to be real careful with critters here riding.
P11, that puts you 3.8 off the pace. Your last lap time was at 205.
All right, now I got to make a real lap. Yeah, we would have to fly to COTA. We drove from here to Indy to film that race, and it was like 15 hours, and it was a long drive. But it was worth it. It was so much fun. Such a cool race. But I really wanted to go see WEC at COTA. My oldest worked, he interned for a GT while he was in college, finishing up college in Florida. He interned for a GT3 race team, actually, for Acura, and he traveled, and so a lot of the filming we did was in and around some of the races that he was working, and I was pretty jealous of COTA. But I got to say that Indy's really cool. I got to go back and reread what you said after I got out of those because it looked pretty funny.
Sector 2 is 1.4 off the pace.
Probably not going to get a great qualifying time, but I'm enjoying talking. Wildlife and heavily armed Mexican vegetables, yeah.
The leader's just done a 2:00.8 seconds.
Yeah, I have not been to Texas or that neck of the woods for a long time. My dad was in the military, and when I was a baby, we moved from up here down to, I think it was in El Paso. Check my time here. Pull over for a sec. Yeah, he was, I was actually born while he was in Vietnam, believe it or not, to date me here. And when he got back from Vietnam, and I was just a baby, we ended up going to, he was in the Army, and he did air defense. And so I guess they sent him down to White Sands, and I guess they would do a lot of missile-related stuff down there in the, I guess it would have been 1970, 1971. So lived down in the Southwest for the first 2 years of my life, I think, which might explain why I really like refried beans. But I'm a sucker for Mexican, even though I know there's a big argument. It's hard to get actual decent Mexican food unless you go down to the Southwest. We make do with what we've got up here. I mean, I'm living practically in Canada, so.
That's the end of the session for P20.
Ooh, P20, not so great. Yeah, we actually have, somewhere around here, I have some old components that he picked up from White Sands. Oh, bear with me a second here. Let me get in on this. Try that again. Okay, I got to set my tires up here because I do not want to take tires because I don't really need to in this short race. Okay, set it up so I don't take tires. Half the screen is froze. Interesting. Bear with me. Let's see if I can reset it into happiness here. Well, let me reboot my camera.
Thirty seconds.
Yeah, I don't know. This may be a problem. I may have to end the stream here because it's looking like my camera might have freaked out a little bit.
10 seconds.
Let's see if it's going to play nice. Please.
The track temp is 75 Fahrenheit. The air temp is 73. Okay, Rick. We
Okay.
might struggle today. A decent finish will be around P17.
There, seems better. Let me know if it works now.
This is a rolling start. We need to follow car number 16 in the left column.
I wonder if it overheated or something. I don't know. That's weird, or it just glitched out. I'm asking a lot of a GoPro in my head that's actually hooked up to a second computer as a streaming device, as a webcam. Yeah, I work with technology in the job that I'm at, and usually the rule of thumb is just reboot it, and it'll probably solve it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so I got about 15 laps of fuel, and I'll have to pit. I'm not taking tires. And again, with everything, the goal is just to try to stay alive for about the first few corners until people start to stretch out, and then after that, you know, then you just get to start dealing with the prototypes. You know, as they start passing you and start getting real itchy to get by you. Yeah, hard reset.
We need to catch up to car number 16.
Everybody's getting pretty fast. Don't need to cause a massive fender bender. Well, it looks like I'm pretty far at the back. I guess I was talking a little too much and not working on speed. That's okay. It's all good. It's a long race, and there'll be attrition, and I count on attrition. Like the plaid McLaren up there. I wonder if that's supposed to be like the Pfaff Motorsports. Let's see if I can get a little closer to him without dying. Yeah, maybe it is. I bet it is. And one thing I noticed too that I gotta, run your line. Yeah, I gotta actually get up closer. Is the GT3s kind of get screwed at the start in a way, because the prototypes are so far ahead of us that we will probably start any second here, which really kind of sucks.
Catch up to car number
Yep,
16.
there it is.
Green, green, green.
So you barely even get a chance to get bunched back up for a good start. That's one of the things I don't like about the iRacing start mechanic.
Okay, Rick, the next car is Henry. Car number 40, car right. There's an turn 5. Clear right. Car left. Clear left.
Saw headlights in my mirror to the right and freaked me out. I thought maybe it was somebody was next to me.
Don't be distracted. Different your position. Left side.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to try to do
Clear
that.
left.
Let's see if I can return the favor.
Car right. Clear right.
Not a fan of dive bombers, but if you plan for them, you can kind of sometimes mitigate problems. You get somebody behind you who's a little too eager, I'd rather just sometimes just let them get by and kill somebody else. Let them become someone else's problem, then pass them later on when they're in the dirt.
Right, the guy ahead of us is Calvi, car number 47, and their rating is 0.9.
Yeah, Nate, I do that too. I try to make them work for a bit. I don't want to just give it to them, but on the other hand, you know, you get these guys that are obviously a bit kind of dangerous, and it's kind of a hard call sometimes to know, like, do I really want to give up a spot? But then again, that's the downside of a sim, is that guys will just kill you, you know, either out of their inability to control their own car or just as brute force passing, and so it can really, you know, ruin your race. And as it turns out, you know, guys like that who will muscle you, they'll muscle someone else, and that other person might stuff them, or they might end up in an interaction that kills them both. Yeah, I'm with you, Ed.
20th place.
It's
There's an incident in turn 1. Looks like it's Jersey.
You got to pick and choose. Pick and choose your battles. You know, what's it worth to you to give up a spot? You know, I'm way back in the pack, so I'm not fighting for a podium. But also recognize that this Corvette in front of me, if he's really aggressive, he's going to tangle with somebody else eventually. Very likely. So I really try to shoot for clean. Yeah, when I can. It really depends. Like you said, it's situational. And I try to loiter close so that when somebody overcommits or runs out of talent, I try to capitalize on it. Kind of like I did at Watkins Glen, where people wadded it up. Unfortunately, the Watkins Glen one, I kind of got into that Corvette's rear end, which was too bad. Yeah, and Ed, you know, you talk about safety. You know, I try to be a safe driver. I try to be a smart driver. Doesn't matter how fast you are if you can't stay out of other cars, or if you can't stay out of the trees, right? You can be a really fast driver, but if you're inconsistent or you're reckless or you're dangerous, you can't win if you don't even finish a race.
Okay, Rick, we think our refueling window will open after 17 minutes. Closes after 35 minutes. There's a car left.
Because there you go, the Corvette's already in the dirt.
That's your quickest so far. Car right. Right side.
He's not going to want me to go by.
You're reeling. P18. The gap is now 0.26.
I don't quite know where that LMP2 came from, but show him in my mirror.
Right side. Still there. He's still there. He's still there. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. Still there. Still there. Still there. Hold your line. Clear right.
He's going to get rid of here.
You mean LMP1
Maybe? Oh, no, he backed out of it. Wow, I'm surprised. I thought we were going to die on that one. I thought for sure I was going to die.
Car right. Clear right.
I'm going to go slow down.
Car right side's clear. Blue flag. You'll need to slow down to give back the time gained.
I got to burn off another second or so. Yeah.
On your right.
I was trying to give that LMP2 or the GTP a little bit too much room, and it burned me.
Okay, Rick. There's a faster car approaching. Blue flag. On your right. Right side's clear. On your right. Right side's clear.
That's all good. It's a long race.
P21. Blue flag.
He's going to try to shut the door.
Incident in turn 1. It looks like Henry.
I guess, is that same Corvette? Nope.
Blue flag. Left side. Clear left. Car ahead is Coleman, car number 45. And their rating is
multi-class
0.9.
gets real busy.
Right side's clear. Blue flag. Car right. Clear right. Right side. Clear right.
those hypercars come up on you so fast. You gotta keep your eye on the mirror a little bit. Sometimes the spotters aren't quick enough. And knowing when to let them by can make or break a run. You know, timing their pass. Now the GT3s are all bunched up again. This will be fun. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to run it. I didn't get a chance to run Road America. Like, if you're talking on iRacing, like some of the bigger events, because I spent a lot of this summer traveling back and forth to Florida because we had some family stuff going on, and so I really didn't do a whole lot of sim racing this summer. And what I did do, I tended to do on LeMans Ultimate.
All right, Rick, the next car is Roth, car number 44, and their rating is 1.0.
See if I can
There's
get
an
by this
incident
guy.
in zone 5.
For some reason, this Mustang seems a
There's
little
faster cars
on the
behind.
slow
This
side.
group includes their class leader.
Here comes the LMP2s, probably.
Blue flag. Car right.
This is gonna get weird
Clear
fast.
right. Car right. Still there. Blue flag. Clear right. Clear right. Car left. Clear left.
Try to give that guy a little room. I like how you described it as PTSD. That's
There's a group of faster cars behind you. They're racing for position. Blue flag. Incident in Bishop. Car right. Clear right. David. Car number 17 is now in the lead. Blue flag. On your right side's clear.
try to get all those prototypes by me. I'm gonna run out of this. There you go. Oh, those guys are dying.
Sunset.
Well,
Blue flag.
there you have it.
The driver in front of us is Coleman, car number 45, and their rating is 0.9. B17.
Yeah, Road Atlanta. I like Road America. It's fast.
Incident in Christensen. Looks like it's power.
Little late break in there.
Blue flag. Gap to Walton behind is increasing. It's now 2.1 seconds. There's a faster car approaching.
Yeah, I did Indy in the Corvette. And Indy's pretty cool.
Car right. Clear right. There's an incident in Le Mans.
Yeah, tell me what you think of the this whole new rain mechanic thing. My first race in the rain was IMSA at Canada Tire, and it was absolutely terrifying. Early shift there.
Okay, Rick, you've used half your fuel. Watson behind is
yeah,
pitting.
9th class is good.
Christensen. There's a faster car approaching. Blue flag. Left side. Clear left. The gap to Coleman ahead is increasing. It's now 4.4.
Yeah, I imagine Watkins Glen in the rain is pretty scary too. I'm trying to think if I've done. I think I did a rain race there on ACC, but the mechanics of ACC and like the rain, the way rain behaves in each of the sims is definitely a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, the first rain race I did there at Canada Tire, or Canadian Tire, was in the Corvette, and I hadn't really run it before, and I had been out of iRacing for a little while, and so it was like, talk about diving in head first, and you know, I log into the session, and I like Canada Tire, but then I get in and it's pouring. And honestly, it was raining so much, it was the kind of race, it had to have been a real race, it probably would have been red flagged. It was just, it was unrealistically wet. It was scary as hell. I mean, I will say that rain in LMU is not too bad. So I got 6 laps. I just needed to check up on my fuel. I will probably take fuel at about 2 laps remaining.
Blue flag. Okay, Rick. There's a faster class car approaching. Left side. Clear left. Blue flag.
Yeah, iRacing gets a little creative sometimes too. At what tracks they pick to call the IMSA series, and a couple seasons ago they picked Lime Rock. Now, prototypes on Lime Rock were pretty scary, and then you make it mixed, you know, mixed class, and it was just all about survival at that point. You know, keep your nose clean, give people ample room. Race when you can, and rinse the people you can. Yeah, no, agreed. I went to I've been to the track twice to film and to spectate for IMSA, but I'm trying to remember what they were running. They didn't have any prototypes there. It was just all GT4, GT3, and then TCR. And again, I shot a couple of videos. Actually, the first videos that I started doing and putting together on YouTube was from Lime Rock, just for fun. Yeah, and I had a good time.
Okay, Rick. Lap times are pretty consistent.
And then it was funny. It was really cool
pit window is
because the GT4s on the uphill, because the GT3s use that little kind of chicane on the uphill, which slows them down.
Behind is pitting.
But the GT4s, they go all the way to the end and turn and go uphill.
Class leader.
Here, I better pay attention and give this guy some room. But the GT4s would actually become completely airborne. And some of the photos we got show, like, you know, flying Mercedes, flying BMWs. It was super cool. Yeah, I think GT4s are probably about as far as I would want to go. Now, that being said, Trans Am still runs there, and I have not seen a Trans Am race, but those things look like monsters and sound amazing. Yeah, I definitely recommend it if you can make it to the Northeast. Lime Rock is pretty cool. They do.
Faster class car behind.
It seems like they do quite a bit of historic stuff there.
Blue flag.
And as I said, I've got an Audi TT that I was flirting with the idea of turning it into a project car. Sorry, dude, I can't get out of your way.
Clear right.
That I was going to do a track car project build with, but I'm kind of putting that aside for now. It's a 2003 Mark I TT. And then I've also got a 1984 Fiat X19 that I'm probably going to do a historic rallycross car with.
Coleman in the gaps now, 2.9. Come on, keep digging. 15th place.
Yeah, I'd love to get some real seat time. Let's see, I'm catching this guy. Tires are getting a little tired.
Blue flag.
Or at least warm.
Faster car behind. That's half distance. Should be about 7 minutes of fuel left.
Actually, I should probably take a look and see how much is left in the race. What do we got? 19 minutes. 45-minute race. Three laps of fuel. Yeah, I'm definitely digging the Mustang. That thing is so much fun.
Car behind's a faster class. Blue flag. Keep digging, E12. That's your fastest lap.
Go ahead, dude.
Incident in turn 5. You think it might be Walton? Clear left.
Well, you know what they say about BMW drivers. And actually, I don't believe that, because my daily driver's a BMW, and I'm definitely not like that. I do know how to use my turn signal. Good night, Ed. Thanks for hanging out with me and watching. Definitely appreciate it. Hope to see you around. Thanks, Nate. Go have some dinner. Sounds like a good idea. I think I actually have cake waiting for me upstairs. Hope to see both you guys back. It's been fun.
Edward is getting closer. The gap's come down to 1.9 seconds. They're quicker than us entering Cunningham. The leader, David, is pitting. Saul, car number 12, is leading the race. Alright Rick, keep it nice and smooth. Come on, let the race come to us. That's 20 minutes to go, 20 minutes. 5 minutes of fuel remaining, 5 minutes.
One more lap. Better stop for fuel.
We're running on fumes, mate. In this lap, box this lap, P9. Blue flag. There's a faster car approaching. Flag. The gap to P10 behind is now 1.4. The leader, Kennedy, is pitting. D, car number 8, is now leading. Very little fuel left. Box this lap, please Rick. Faster car on your right. Right side's clear. Car right, clear right. Coleman, ahead is pitting. What's your speed limit in the pits? Pit lane speed limit is 45 miles per hour, 300 feet. We'll fuel you to the end of the race, 100 feet. Front left, 91%. Left rear, 95.
Plenty of tire left. Please run your line. I can do that.
There's a car approaching, stay in your lane. Blue flag. Okay Rick, the next car is Henry, car number 41. And their rating is 1.1. There's a group of faster cars bearing down on you. To P15. Ahead is increasing. It's now 9.1. There's There's a faster car approaching. Blue flag. Okay, Rick. Right side. Clear right. The gap to P17 behind is now 0.7. 1 lap behind. David, car number 17, is now in the lead. On your left, clear left. There's a faster class car approaching. P16.
Yeah, still cold tires, seems like. Guess I need to let these guys warm up a little bit.
He's leading the race.
Minutes.
David, car number 17, is now leading.
See if I can stay in front of this Lamborghini that keeps catching me.
Faster car behind, he's class leader. Blue flag. Saul, car number 12, is now leading. The gap to B17 behind is now 0.10, a lap behind. Flag. There's an incident in Sunset. We think it might be Calvi. There's an incident in turn 1. Looks like it's Harding. Car right. Clear right. car right. Clear right. 14th. Okay, Rick, 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left. Pinto, car number 18, is leading the race. The gap ahead is now 6.6 seconds. David, car number 17, is now in the lead. It's a faster class car behind. Blue flag. On your right. Right side's clear.
Oh, for sure those guys are going to collide behind
last
me.
lap was at 2:03.48.
I'd like to gap this Lamborghini that's behind me. At least that's what I think it is. Put a little bit of buffer. Seven minutes remaining.
You're reeling, Henry, in. The gap is now 5.1.
Kind of cool to catch up with these guys. I don't know if I have enough time for that though.
Place. Your lap time was at 2:03.00. That's your fastest lap today.
Cool. My tires are finally coming up to temp.
Alright Rick, there's a faster car approaching. blue flag. Car right. Right side's clear. Keep it nice and smooth. Come on, let the race come to us. 5 minutes remaining, 5 minutes left. You've used half your fuel. The gap to Henry ahead is now 6.0.
I think I lost a little bit of time on that prototype.
There's a faster car approaching, blue flag. On your right. Clear right.
Yeah, I definitely lost time on those two.
That lap was a 2:04.61. David, car number 17, is leading the race. Okay, Rick, 10 minutes of fuel remaining. The gap to Henry in front is now 3.9.
Just over 2 minutes.
Just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go.
Probably about 2 laps.
Okay, Rick, there's a faster car approaching. Car right. Clear right. David, car number 17, is now in the lead.
Maybe I can get close to these two guys up here. I doubt it. We'll see. Oh was gaining on him, I'm pretty sure.
As faster cars approaching, this group includes the class leader, blue flag.
One more lap.
Car left, clear left. Car left, clear left. White flag, last lap.
Getting close. I don't think I got enough time to get to him, but that'd be cool.
All right, Rick. 5 minutes of fuel remaining. 5 minutes.
That's
14th. Well done, mate. Good finish.
yeah, I'll take it. I mean, it was ended up being a clean race. I mean, I just took a look down at my number of incident points, 0, which blows my mind because I thought for sure I had. I know I had interaction with other cars, but I thought for sure I got some incident points out of it. But it looks to me, if
That's
I'm
the end of the session.
I got nothing. So yeah, I like it. I'll pull over up here and see how I did. Just a moment. Pull off to a safe spot over here. Well, not that any place is safe, but I'll pull off to a decent spot. All right. That's a good-looking car. So results. Ways down the list, but not too bad. I think I ended up finishing a lot better than where I started. So let's jump out of this. Get back to the scoring and see what it says. All right. I probably lost points, so yeah, I did. I lost a little bit of points. I got some safety rating, which is fine under the circumstances, which with multi-class, I'm definitely glad to get safety. And I was split 3. Lost a little bit of points. Where did I start? I said I started 23rd overall, maybe? Car number 30. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, D4, whole variety, but can't complain. It was a fun race. I had a good time. But let me change that out here. That I am going to call it for the night. That was 2 good races. I did the GT3 fixed and then followed up with the IMSA open setup. I tried to get into the IMSA fixed setup, but I don't think I was quick enough to get out of one session and get in and sign into the other one. But I'm going to wrap it up for tonight, but I want to thank everybody who decided to log in tonight to watch me race. I definitely appreciate people coming and checking out my racing, and tonight was some great engagement with people for the first time on the channel. I think this is probably about my 5th stream, and I'm only 2 weeks into it, and I'm having a lot of fun streaming and trying to engage with fans of racing and answer any questions and just talk about whatever. But I appreciate everybody logging on. So if you like the content, please hit the like, please leave a comment, please subscribe, and I will see everybody around. Peace.